Hello and welcome to ASPA's podcast. I am Anna Weber and I am ASPA's marketing coordinator. With me today, I have Sonsie Hopper from the California Montessori Project. Sonsie is the human resource specialist there, and she's joining me today to talk about wellness plans. Sonsie, let's get started here right off the bat. What are the main issues that you're noticing surrounding wellness and gaps in wellness for staff?
First of all, thank you for having me. Yes, we have a large organization, about 500 staff network wide. And I was noticing a lot when staff were leaving that the number one reason was burnout. And so the current traditional benefits that were being provided to staff really only addressed standard health, dental, vision, but they weren't supporting staff in an overall holistic approach, for their overall well-being, especially in relation to mental health, mindfulness, and just creating an environment within the organization that was supportive of that well-being for our staff.
So given these issues, what was your focus in regards to creating a wellness program, and what did you hope to achieve?
I really wanted to address the burnout and see if it was something that we could create a more supportive environment. I wanted to address that current culture within our organization and offer more mental health resources. I also wanted to address our part-time staff who weren't benefit eligible and who were previously being left out of that current conversation about wellness. It was important to me to create a more level playing field for staff, regardless of the hours that they work. All staff are equally important, and it was important to me to also create a space where all staff were worthy of that emotional well-being, and to create a shift within the organization where these factors were prioritized above, and the human beings and mental health were prioritized above productivity.
So that is amazing. What ways have you worked outside of the norm to create wellness options for staff?
We started partnering with a company called Navati, and Navati's a more holistic well-being organization, and they provide unlimited access to a library of resources for all staff. In addition to that, with Navati, we purchased a set number of credits where staff can use these credits to book one-on-one live sessions. They book them online from the convenience of their phone, wherever, from home, wherever they want to access these. And these are with licensed professionals on topics such as grief counseling, relationship, physical fitness, financial well-being, nutrition, meditation, and many more topics. In addition, our representative from Navati was really integral in helping me launch a Wellness Wednesday program for our staff. The Wellness Wednesday is a weekly outreach that includes resources on tips on mindfulness, community resources, healthy recipes, local farmers markets, group fitness classes, and more. These are things that I personally research and take part in to be able to provide these for the staff. And the overall feel of the Wellness Wednesdays, I want it to be like your best friend, just kind of reminding you like, hey, take a moment for yourself, and take a pause and a movement break, and focus on yourself for a moment. And
that is very cool. I love that you have personal connection in this, and that you're involving things that you like. So what results have you seen with the staff given these efforts?
I think, like you mentioned, just the personal involvement, I think coming from an organic place of my own, this kind of launched from my own personal wellness journey. And I just think that I was noticing, like I mentioned, a lot of people were leaving because of burnout. And so I think I really wanted to target what I was seeing in the exit interviews and hearing from staff, and really just approach it from an organic place. I've had a lot of great feedback from staff. We did, in part of the Wellness Wednesday, we did like a staff contest. And so they got to participate and kind of send in pictures of themselves doing things that were wellness related. So people would draw for stress relief, knit, go on nature hikes, participate in like jujitsu and karate with their family. So I got an inpouring of pictures from all of our staff, which was really fun to kind of see those and then share them with the other staff. And so I've had really great feedback. I also got some feedback because of these one-on-one licensed professional meetings, because I feel like mental health is a bigger topic right now and across the board. And so because of that, because a lot of people are seeking resources, even our staff that did have benefits are being waitlisted, or they're having trouble getting appointments with their therapist, or even starting that process. So this, through Navati and also just some other community resources that I've been able to provide, people were able to get appointments right away, and these were effective and immediately accessible. So I think so far it's been a really good success.
That is awesome. I love that your staff is sending you pictures. I love that this is growing your connections with people interpersonally outside of like the office and the workplace. That's so cool. Where do you think there's still room for improvement?
Yeah, I mean, I have regular meetings with Navati, and they provide analytics, which is really great because then I can see specifically what topics, I mean, it's all confidential, but I can see specifically what topics staff are accessing for the library, the recorded library access. But I'm sorry, let me start that one over.
Of course.
Forgot what I was saying.
No problem. Where do you think there's still room for improvement?
Yeah, so I have regular meetings with Navati, and they provide analytics. It is confidential information, but they provide, specifically what topics our staff are accessing on the library. So that helps me identify what topics our staff are interested in. And they also provide, how many people are signing up for sessions, for one-on-one licensed professional sessions. And while I do feel like we are on target for our quarterly goals that we set, I would love to see more. I would love to, because this is free, essentially free resources for our staff. I would love to see everyone, partake in it, and maybe people who haven't previously thought that this would be something they would be interested in, or, were maybe weren't raised with these topics of being, something that they might feel that they quote unquote need. But I think it's beneficial to everyone, even if it's, meditation or yoga or the financial wellness. So I think just more participation. And personally, I would love to see more in person. I think just coming off of COVID and moving away back into the in-person things, I would love to see more in-person opportunities. We're a charter network of 6 campuses that span 4 different school districts. And so that's kind of difficult. That can make it difficult to get everybody together, but we did some online workshops with Navati that were helpful. And then some of our campuses have started doing morning mindfulness practices and weekly yoga classes, but I would just love to see more of that.
Yeah, I love that you are making this so accessible. I think with accessibility, sometimes we forget that there's like a mental aspect to that if it's something that you've never experienced or didn't grow up having, that is a real limiting factor when it comes to accessing wellness programs. So I love that you touched on that. What would your ideal wellness plan for all staff to have access to include or look like?
Yeah, like you just mentioned, kind of just people's own resistance of maybe, starting something or looking into the different areas of wellness. I mean, you don't have to feel unwell to want wellness. And a lot of times, I think, just speaking personally, a lot of times I would start accessing resources when it was urgent or critical, and rather than just kind of an ongoing maintenance plan of, making sure that I was taking care of myself and reminding myself to take care of myself. So I think that just more people being open to trying these different things and these different resources and seeing how it works for them. I would also of course, just love to see finances not be a barrier. There's still room for improvement. We currently purchase a pooled number of credits that people can use, but eventually those credits might run out. They haven't yet because people haven't accessed all of them, but I just, and like I'd mentioned about our non-benefit eligible staff, I think just they don't have the same equal access to all of the variety of resources. So I would just love for for finances to not be a barrier. And just, yeah, for more access to regular classes such as yoga or movement breaks, or I just think everyone can benefit from that, and just to continue creating a culture where the human beings are prioritized over the work, and just everyone's well-being is prioritized.
Absolutely. And I think especially the trends that we're seeing in the teacher shortage and things like that, it's so important to value those things outside of the work that a teacher's doing in the classroom or someone's doing in district office.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite resource or benefit that you guys offer? Or is there one that you've seen overall that is sort of the most popular?
So I think mindfulness, I think a lot of people were really watching the meditation, and then counseling. Yeah, in our county, like I'd mentioned, that just kind of there was an inundation with current medical providers of people not being able to access mental health and licensed professionals. So some of our school counselors provided resources for free free counseling within our county. And so I was able to provide that in addition to Navati. I know I've plugged Navati a few times, and I don't get any, compensation from them, but it's just been a really great program, that we're just really excited to be able to partner with them. And they've been so helpful in just really supporting our work and our engagement with staff in providing these.
Well, that is the best recommendation that somebody can give, is to say that this just works for me. I'm not being paid for this. It's just something that you love. So that's incredible. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been amazing to hear about this. And it sounds like you're doing some groundbreaking almost work with this, because I don't know a lot of wellness programs across the country that sound quite as like cutting edge as yours. It's very, very cool to hear about. Where can our listeners reach you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Sonsie Hopper, and then my email address is shopper@cacmp.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and for taking time to share all of the great ways that you're taking care of your staff.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks again for having me and for allowing this platform to talk about mental health and just holistic well-being for staff, especially like you mentioned in the education field right now. It's just really, really important that we, that we prioritize these humans and the teachers and these educators that are modeling for our children what's important, and to remember to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good to hear that we're changing the way that we're relating to teachers and taking care of them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.